Yeah, boy, that came in hard. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Humanist Reacts. So, I'm doing my first reaction to a metal song. Um, this is actually apparently considered metalcore. I don't know. I, I've been listening to metal since I was a child in the 80s, um, and I've never gotten a handle on all of the different subgenres or how they all intermingle. So, metalcore as opposed to death metal, black metal, thrash metal, none of that. Apparently, core is a thing now. I don't know. None of that means a thing to me. Um, Progressive metal, I can generally identify. That's pretty much it. But anyway, this is one that I have seen. Um, I've seen a lot of buzz about this group recently, and I don't know why recently, but I've done just the tiniest bit of research because I was looking them up, trying to look up the lyrics to the song before I reacted to it, and I came across um, some mention that they were Ukrainian. So I wanted to make sure that this wasn't anything problematic before I reacted to it, because I honestly just don't want to waste my time on that, because I I wouldn't end up releasing it. Um, anyway, so this is the band Jinjer, and the song is Pisces. This is the live session, and from the YouTube channel Napalm Records. So that's everything I know about it. I know it's metal. I know they have a female lead singer. I know a lot of people seem to enjoy it. I know they're from Ukraine, um, and that's pretty much it. But let's get into it. That's kind of
suffering with smile. I drew a different reality with unconditional loyalty. Ego hard, they can be picked 'cause I'm selfless.
okay. Okay. The drum track in this is so jazzy, um, and terrific. Um, his his cymbal work with the hi hats. I think those are the hi hats, the ones that the the ones you control with your foot pedal to splash them together. I think those are hi hats. Anyway, but his cymbal work with that and the keeping of a different sort of offbeat for that. It's very reminiscent of Neil Peart to me, um, and that's terrific. They've done a beat switch already. Um, Lyrics are very restrained and um, kind of non-metal sounding to me. You know, I'm used to lots of growls, roars, lots of energy with metal. So this is kind of a more laid back. I would fit this into progressive metal so far, if it were me. Um, but that's because that's the only subgenre that I feel like I can identify. Um, but because of the intricacy and the of the beat and the sort of changes and movements that they're going through. Um, so far, really good. I haven't got a good feel on these lyrics yet. Um, Step forward and meet a new sunrise. A coward is shivering inside. That feels sort of like a rebirth sort of lyric, um, and talking about coming out of your shell, coming out of yourself. Um, Today I'll be a friend of mine. Okay, that's be a good friend to yourself. That's good stuff. Who swallows suffering with smile. Um, mm, you know, smile at your suffering. That feels a little Catholic to me, but of course they are Ukrainian, so is Eastern Orthodox, right? That the major religion over there. So maybe there's something to that. That sort of tradition of um, suffering as virtue. Anyway, but I like the optimism behind it. The smile through your suffering, and obviously, war torn Ukraine, they have seen some suffering. I don't know if any of that, how much of that had happened at the time they wrote this song, but um, I drew a different reality with unconditional loyalty. Okay, okay. Being loyal unconditionally. Ego can hardly be piqued because I'm selfless. So if I am selfless, then you can't appeal to my ego to get things get things your way, that sort of thing. So yeah, so far really good musically. The lyrics I'm not quite connecting to yet, but I think that might come with a little bit more time. So let's get back into it. Hmm. Yeah, boy, that came in hard. Um, Absolutely. We got the 5-string bass going there. That riff, that guitar riff was super nice. And this drummer, y'all, is killer. And the powerful growling vocals there. Um, Terrific. Scale Armor Blaze, Virgin Innocence. One being brings life, another runs for death. I don't know. I'm getting some duality stuff here with these lyrics. Possibly some biblical imagery in here, which is definitely not uncommon for metal at all. Obviously, but scale armor blaze, that makes me think of like the breastplates of fire from what's that? Was that Isaiah talked about the breastplates of fire? Maybe. Um, I don't know. I've got a friend who'll tell me in the comments. I have no doubt. but uh, but yeah, and virgin innocence. It could be referring to the Virgin Mary, that sort of thing, or it could just be referring to sort of repetition of virgin and innocence as sort of synonyms with each other, symbolically speaking, even though they shouldn't be. It's in my mind. Listen, virginity's a myth. Don't just don't just don't. If you're a young person out there, anybody who tells you anything about virginity and chewed bubble gum and all of that bullshit, virginity's a myth. Doesn't exist. It's a social construct. Ignore it. It doesn't matter. That's not how anything works. Take care of your body. Respect yourself. Do what you want with it. Just be careful. End of story. Anybody who thinks anything else about you doesn't matter. They can go fuck themselves. Anyway.
No promises I ever give. Don't rely on me and I won't deceive.
Okay.
The beginning or the end, you can't tell. When I wave my feet and shake my tail, I grew a different normality with unblameable morality. Hooks and nets are there for me, but I'm skittish.
So, okay. So, in this verse, I'm getting sort of Leviathan imagery, maybe, um, or or Moby Dick, which one could be the other. So Moby Dick was a very symbolic work, so I don't know. Maybe Leviathan was what Melville was referring to there. I never thought of that possibility, but anyway, um, don't rely on me, and I won't deceive. Look, I'll tell you the truth as long as you're not expecting anything from me. But if you put any kind of pressure on me, if you ask me to do anything for you, if you're relying on me, then I'm going to tell you what you want to hear, but it won't be the truth. Um, that's what I'm getting out of that. The beginning or the end, you can't tell. That's sort of just in um, uncertainty about the future. Okay. When I wave my fin and shake my tail, that's kind of the part where I'm getting maybe Leviathan. There could be some H.P. Lovecraft stuff going on here too. You know, I mean, Cthulhu didn't necessarily have a tail, but there were fish-like gods the in that pantheon. You know, Dagon and stuff like that. So maybe there's something to that. And that would kind of go along with the sort of end world imagery there as well. But also the end world imagery goes along with the idea of Leviathan, Leviathan as the, as Leviathan as Lucifer, as the devil, or as the great evil one rising from the depths, right? We're in a different normality with unblameable morality. Unblameable morality could be purity, perfectly moral, so it can never be blamed for anything, or it could be talk of a different kind of morality where there's no blame. You don't blame people for their moral failings or that sort of thing. Maybe. Hmm. Now we're about to go back into the chorus. So. Okay. New hypothesis here. First verse was talking about a divine deity, a savior. And the second verse was talking about a destroyer. And that's why in the chorus, they're talking about one being brings life, another runs for death. So these are juxtaposed against one another. Scale armor blaze, ready for war. Virgin innocence, meek and calm. Maybe. Maybe. Let's keep going.
Neptune's child, shivering inside, drowns in a liquid gold. Cherish his life to the underworld. Make me flashing when the winter cries.
Quickly before we get past this. So, Neptune's child. Neptune was the god of the sea, also known as Poseidon. So, there's the underwater imagery again there. Cherished his life to the underworld. I think, did Poseidon? I feel like maybe Poseidon had the child with Demeter. Is that right? Poseidon and Demeter's child. What's her name and why can't I think of it? Persephone? Was that Persephone? Right. Yeah. Poseidon and Demeter's child Persephone was the one that Hades came and stole to the underworld. But yeah, my mythology is not it's not that good to know that for sure, but meet me flashing when the winter cries. That feels like it's hearkening to that Persephone story. Because I know that that's sort of a retelling of a retelling. It's another version of a common mythic sort of trope or tale. It's a rebirth tale. It's a changing of the seasons tale. The same thing with I'm trying to think of the ancient Sumerian, maybe. Anyway, there's the ancient Sumerians had a similar tale of Tammuz. Um, Tammuz was the light and was a a sort of a consort of the queen deity, and then Tammuz goes to hell, and the deity goes down to get him, and he comes back. And when he comes back, that's sort of the bringing back of the light, the bringing back of spring. Same thing with Demeter. She spends half the year underground, or I'm sorry, with Persephone, she spends half the year underground, and that's when Demeter, who's the goddess of the crops and all of that, is weeping, and that's why all the crops die. And then Persephone comes back for 6 months, and Demeter brightens back up, and all the crops come back, and that sort of thing. So, flashing when the winter cries, that mention of winter kind of brings that imagery in as well there. So, that's of course, Pisces. Okay, yeah, Pisces the fish. Okay, um, got it. I feel really dumb for not putting that together before. Um, Pisces, of course, also has a little bit of Christian imagery tied to it as well. All of these symbols just repeat themselves throughout all of the religions and mythologies throughout the years, which is a really fascinating thing to get into once you stop holding on to one of those mythologies as being correct and the rest being incorrect. But yeah, Pisces. That's who we're talking about. Makes sense. Yeah, this this is terrific stuff. This is great. Anyway, one more. Oh, oh, that was good, man. Everything was on point in that outro. That the vocals, the bass, the guitar riffs were so tight and so, and the drums have just been killer throughout this whole thing. Fantastic. Pisces swimming through the river, so fish. Pisces is a fish, and the symbol of the fish. It's Pisces swimming through the river all their life against the stream. So the struggle, the struggle of the fish. We're thinking, I'm thinking like salmon, swimming upstream, only to get to the mating pools where they were born, that sort of thing. There's just a beautiful circular symmetry, sort of cycle in that as well. Because we're talking about sort of your birthing place, the place where you were before you existed, and then going back to that from birth to death, and the struggle to get back to that place of death, to get back to that place of unlife, the place where you were from the void and returning to the void. Your whole life you're just struggling to get back to that void. Beautiful. Searching for a hook to catch on. Just something, take me out of this life, take me out of this struggle, and see their sunbeam. They're underwater, can't see the sun. Just raise me up out of here so I can see the light, so I can see the beauty, so I can see something more than this, than suffocate in painful tortures. So the fish are suffocating because they can't breathe when they're out of water. They can only breathe underwater. On cutting tables of callous men, under a knife of handsome butchers. So you've been caught, you suffocate because you can't breathe, and then you get chopped up and fed to people. Emeralds are ripped away, emeralds are ripped away. She repeats that line 4 times, and I'm not entirely sure that I get it. I'm feeling like maybe it's emeralds as in emeralds as in the Emerald Sea, the so emerald representing the color of the sea, representing the sea. Emeralds as in the gems of life, the precious bauble of life, as represented by a shining emerald, and that being ripped away, that life being ripped away. Yeah, whatever it is, this was outstanding. I'm going to be honest, I haven't heard a lot of metal in the last few years, quite a few years. I haven't listened to a lot of metal, just a little here and there. I listened to a lot more of it when I was younger. And the ones that I have listened to over the last few years, I generally haven't liked any of them. There's just been a few here and there, a few bands here and there that I've picked up on that I've thought were good and worth my time, basically. This band's going to be getting more listens from me. This was phenomenal. Every one of these musicians is a master. Um, this is absolutely top notch. Top notch. Incredible. Um, I certainly enjoyed listening to this song. That's I think I'll enjoy the rest of their stuff as well. So I think I'll be checking out more Jinjer probably. Um, so if you want to hear that, let me know. Um, like, comment, subscribe, all of that. Put a comment down below and let me know if you want to hear Jinjer specifically, or if there's another band that you like. If you like Jinjer, you'll like this band. Let me know that too. Um, anyway, man, I'm gonna be rocking to this song for a while. A while. Uh, yeah. Till next time, y'all take care.